I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 153 of the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving with Hailey. I'm your host, John Morrison. Tonight, guys, as you guys can hear, I'm flying solo, which is okay. When you guys hear this, it's gonna sound a little bit different. So I'm recording this like almost 5 days in advance, and that is only because with Thanksgiving weekend coming up, I wanted to make sure that we got an episode out for Tuesday for you guys to listen to. Normally, I don't do this kind of thing. We had a guest lined up. We were going to have Austin Riley, who drives in the Radical Canada series. We're going to learn all about that. But unfortunately, scheduling differences, he was unable to make it tonight. So I pulled some strings. I put out a post on Facebook saying, hey, who wants to come on? Jennifer Hatch reached out to me and goes, I'd love to come back on and talk about the 2024 season, talk about what's going on with Big Booty Judy, what's going on, and how my first season as a race director went. I'm like, great storylines. Let's go. Let's do this. We got some great fan questions coming up for her in a little bit here. But you guys, this has been, we're at the last weekend. The last weekend's done. And I do want to already give out congratulations to everyone who went out to Autumn Colors this weekend at Peterborough. Thank you guys for supporting Peterborough Speedway. Man, I love it. I love seeing the support. I've been seeing some of the photos already. Mike Robinson Jr. and Michael Robinson are already heading out. The third are heading out to Peterborough as we speak. They're doing tech as we speak at the Speedway as they gear up for the 31st annual Autumn Colors Classic presented by Motorama. Yeah. It looks like it should be a fun weekend. Sunday's looking a little iffy, so a lot of this stuff I'm gonna preempt. I'm like, I have no clue what's gonna happen. But we will cover that all in next week's episode when we join when we get back on. I do want to give you guys a couple heads up. One, we got our champions episode we are working on currently. We have 13 champions, series and track champions who have talked to. We're going to get them on if we get all 20 slots filled up, this will be a 4-part series. So we're going to double up each week the episodes for the couple weeks. So this may actually delay my either that or I'll fire them off one a day. I don't know yet. But I'm looking forward to it. We got great guests lined up. We got the Collivers, Mason and Trevor, Ray Morneau, Carson Nagy, Kyle Stackley. We got some really good ones joining us. We will hear all about how their season went. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes for each guest. So we're not going to do an intro. We're not going to really do an outro. You guys are going to really hear from these drivers, and that's going to be the whole point of our Champions episode. Normally I do them in about an hour. We usually do one episode. But, what the hell? Let's get them talk a little bit. So go for about 10, 15 minutes and then send them on their way. We should be we'll have a great time, I think. So we got that in the couple coming weeks here. We're going to end the season off about November. Again, I got to figure out how we're going to work this Champions episode into our scheduling, because I planned the final episode to air like November 5th, I want to say. That would be the end of our season, but I got to figure out the scheduling for the Champions episode. And then, of course, to wrap out the season, we're going to, there'll be a little bit of a passing of the torch. For those that know. If you don't, well, you guys are going to find out that day. it's going to be a nice way to cap off the season and look forward to 2025. Uh, like I there's some things I want to talk about, but I don't really feel like talking about. But one thing I do want to get through in our Peps Pro Painting opening segment as well is we are gonna be we do have our promotional package for 2025 on the go. So if you're listening and you are unsure about what we do behind the scenes here at Joe Media Promotions, is we are a promotions business that also does like to do a little bit of media, aka this podcast. This is just a fun way for us to be able to chat with guests and drivers, crew, track promoters, photographers, whoever, to kind of get an idea of, what, like I always say, to lift the visor, little pun there on today's day, um, to find out who they really are. And because when as a fan, when you go in, you strap in, you watch the drivers, sometimes it's hard to fathom that those people don't work on the race cars all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing the podcast, is be able to get to talk to people like that and listen to their stories of past racing, what they kind of do, and how they got into racing. Because like racing is like a second part-time job or full-time job to a lot of their full-time jobs. Like there's such a commitment there. And but yeah, so anyways, I kind of went off the rails, of course, and I'm doing that by myself, which is really weird. But uh, but yeah, our promotional packages are available for 2025. Brandon Feeney's coming back with a beefy package in 2025. We also got our bronze, silver, gold, and our new platinum package. Now, maybe you know what? For those who have been asking, bronzes are a very basic package, obviously. Um, we do work with you to try to promote you the best we can. You guys will have opportunities to also self promote within what we do as well through different events. Like I said, in 2025, we are going to have our own media day for Joe Media and Promotions drivers, where we're going to invite all the drivers out, have a media day, photos, video conversations, quick interviews that will be posted in the podcast throughout the year. That's the plan, is that we're going to have full media day coverage that we could drop in clips or do kind of like behind the scenes of media day, which I'm sure we'll probably do as well. And of course, we're looking to have a nice appearance at Motorama next year, in more than ways than one. I'm looking for, again, all speculation right now. We're working on details behind the scenes, because I think it'd be really great for us to get out there and showcase this the best we can. But we'll see. But silver is kind of a mixture. You get a little bit more than the bronze, obviously, and a little bit less than the gold. But you do have more photos and video opportunities with that. So if we don't sell it for gold packages, there's an opportunity for a silver to purchase a vlog, essentially. But that's only if we don't sell out of the gold. If we sell out of the gold or even get into the platinum, it's what it is, unfortunately. But we do it. There's more write-up opportunities, and there's more interview possibilities as well. Our gold package, that's where our day at the races comes in. That's one of my favorite segments. I think one of my favorite things we get to do is when we get to travel to the track and watch what you guys are doing behind the scenes, because people can watch the races and not understand that, you may have had a bad practice, but then when you go out there, you're lightning quick. Or, some people don't, some people care, some people don't, but I like to care. I like to think people care about it to be able to showcase this. And because it's really good to see what goes on behind the scenes as well as what goes on in the car. And I think that, well, it's one of the reasons why I love doing the dual cameras in the car. And next year, we could, thanks to Lisa Barton and LLB Racing, we're able to have 3 cameras next year. So I'm looking forward to. There's lots of opportunities. Then of course our platinum, that's our social media marketing. So that involves me essentially creating that involves me setting up a so Jesus, I'm sorry guys. That involves me setting up a social media page on Facebook and Instagram. And it kind of all depends on what you want. If you want this Facebook and Instagram, you want a website, you want apparel. Um, I'm able to work through some of my our promotional partners for next year to help you get set up with that. Uh, and of course, we talked about it last week. We got DJD Gear joining us in 2025. Um, he's also a great way avenue as well. Like I do okay stuff, I think, compared to Darren. So if you feel like I'm not doing well enough, don't worry. I'll send you over to Darren. And but Darren does great work. He does so much with DJD gear. If you guys are interested in any of that, you get a hold of him. Fire suits, gloves, shoes, even vehicle wraps for next year with his DJD graphics. Go check it out, man. He does great stuff. I feel like I've ranted for the last 10 minutes, almost feels like, but we got a great guest joining us tonight. We got Jennifer Hatch joining us. So let's go see what vehicle let's go see what vehicle Hailey has for us in our this week's Driving with Hailey vehicle spotlight. Hey everyone, are you ready to upgrade your ride? This week we're spotlighting the impressive 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee. With only 83,287 kilometers, this beauty combines style and performance. This Jeep has four-wheel drive for all your adventures, smooth automatic transmission, a powerful 3.6-liter V6 engine. Its spacious four-door design with room for 5 passengers. Stay safe and connected with features like adaptive cruise control, blind spot sensors, and lane departure warnings. Plus, enjoy the comfort of a heated steering wheel and a power driver's seat. Never fumble for your keys again with keyless ignition, and keep your favorite tunes at your fingertips with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Don't miss out on this incredible SUV. Hit the road in style with the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Tune in next week for more vehicle spotlights and driving tips. Thanks to Driving with Hailey for being the presenting sponsor of the True North Racing Podcast. Now let's get into this week's GraphInk Design Studio guest segment of the week. Joining us this week in our GraphInk Design Studio guest segment, we got Jennifer Hatch joining us. Jen, how's it going?
It's excellent. How are you?
Doing really well. It's weird recording on a Thursday night, I'm going to be honest with you, but to have you last minute, 5 hours notice, essentially, we're making this happen. We're going to have a fun chat tonight.
No, it was great. It was great timing on your part. Number one, we've ran into each other a few times this year and said, we got to do that again. And we never got around to it. I have a busy schedule. You have a busy schedule. And then normally I'm on my way to ACC. I haven't missed in a lot of years. And I got benched this year. So I'm sitting at home this weekend behaving myself.
Well, at least you're going to be behaving yourself, not getting any trouble up there like the rest of them, right?
That's right. Yeah. It would be hard to explain to my doctor why I didn't heal up properly. And on Facebook, there's like, oh, there's Jen under a trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. They I'm sure that would be really, really bad taste for your doctor to see that.
Not very well received anyway. So no, I mean, I think we've got a few plans this weekend. Of course, a turkey dinner. And I think we might go down and watch my dad drag race in St. Thomas tomorrow. Nice. So we might do that. And and I'm going to get to sleep in my warm bed and have a nice warm shower and cuddle my puppy. So it's all good.
Well, everyone's off at ACC freezing their butts off.
Oh, yeah.
Wearing winter clothes.
Look that great. So I'm okay with my decisions. Well, it wasn't really my decision. I just got told what I was doing.
Yeah. Definitely with Mother Nature looking like she's going to play a factor for us on this weekend. You made the right call.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's wrong. I'm hoping that
I hope so too.
Miraculously, the weather clears out and they get all their racing in on Sunday. Nobody likes being rained out, and we had our fair share this summer.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, I'm hoping it gets in, but I'll watch it from Racing America.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that racing. Well, I was really happy when G-Force said that they were going to show it, and then I heard that Racing America, and I'm like, damn it, I gotta wait a week.
Yeah,
but you know what? That is fine. I'll be more than happy to wait a week to watch it on G-Force. Of course, I'll know who wins, but it's still nice to see kind of like if there is controversy, we can actually see video replay of it, or hopefully see video replay of it. And Autumn Colors always puts on a hell of a show. I'm surprised this hasn't been on G-Force more than it hasn't already.
Yeah, I know. Like last year, I was up in the booth with them for a little bit, even, and that was fun being up with Adam in the booth for a little bit because we were just filling in time because the weather was kind of crap last year too. So
Yeah.
I mean, autumn colors, you already know it's probably going to be hats and mitts and winter coats, right? Like you kind of already know. I know, like I've raced autumn colors many times, and I know there's been a few years where it's been nice enough that you're just kind of in your fire suit, your regular stuff. But more times than not, you're like trying to stuff with like a jacket under your fire suit.
You can't wait to get in that race car and start
Yeah,
making
exactly.
laps because you know the heat's going to start warming you up.
It's the opposite of all summer where I'm like dreading getting in because I have one hot flash and all you're going to find is a puddle of ashes in the car eventually. So, yeah.
Oh boy. How was your 2024 season and the best part is we got Big Booty Judy sitting right there in the background. How was your season with the pier stock at Delaware?
Delaware's Delaware is just a tough go. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had set my expectations accordingly. There's a tough, very competitive bunch of fellas there, and that take it very seriously. Like, in my opinion, way too seriously than a bone stock should be taken. But anyways, I've also been racing 31 years, so to me, it's not about anything anymore except doing what I like to do on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna not have a car, I'm still gonna be there anyway. So I might as well have a car and at least have some fun.
Exactly.
But like to be in the top 10 at Delaware, you're investing a lot of money into your bone stock. That's just my opinion. There's gonna be a lot of people that say that that's not true. It's true. Or just doing stuff that I'm not willing to do. Like I'm not willing to do some of the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm just there to have some fun.
Yep.
At 52 or whatever, like I'm not in it to win it, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
I'm just there to have some fun. And it's close to my house and it's easy. You go slide down, you race for the night, you slide home, you put it away, and then we jump in the car and go do the Great Lakes stuff on Saturday morning anyways. So, or I miss it completely because sometimes we've had to be at the next racetrack on a Thursday, right? So, or a Thursday night so that Zach could practice on the Friday or whatever, or travel time or whatever. So I've missed a few nights this year too. And it didn't bother me at all. Where in the past, like I haven't been to a family member's wedding in years, right? Because I was going to the racetrack and I was running for points. I was this, I was that. So this year was kind of just fun and nice and not a lot of stress. And we kept her in one piece, which was great.
Absolutely. And that's, and we're going to jump over into the reason, to the other reason here, because when we had you on the last time, I don't think you announced that you hadn't yet, but we got you to jump on with us at Motorama to talk about it.
Yeah.
This year you were named the race director for the Great Lakes Legends Series, which if we're still not mistaken, I haven't looked much into that. I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're the only female to actually run a competitive, like be the race director for a series in Canada, at least.
Well, in Ontario anyways.
In Ontario, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know the Pinty series had a female race director, but that's like the Canadian series. I don't know of any other, for sure, no other traveling series, unless there's something I don't know, which I mean, there's very well could be. But we've been saying that and nobody's kind of come forward and said, no, there was somebody else. And I mean, there could have been years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's been, I mean, I know so many instrumental women that have played huge parts and, Sharon Yost, for example, with the Canadian Vintage Modifieds, when I was running with the Canadian Vintage Modifieds, she wasn't the race director at the time, I don't believe, but at the same time, that thing was not getting run without her. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of great females before me that have done
absolutely
some really cool stuff too. I'm just, I was happy to, I'd kind of done the role a bit the year before, just helping Blake and Rob. And then when Blake bought the series and was going out on his own, like you can't do everything. You just can't, right?
You can try.
Yeah, you can try, but it's not going to work really well. And so, so it was fun. It was fun. I mean, you never have 100% friendships when you're doing the race directing.
Yep.
But I feel like, when we had our double header at Varney, like when I was leaving, and that was a conjoined series race. So we ran a lot of races this year with the Ontario Legend Series with Robin, and that went off like so flawlessly. Robin's amazing, and John and Nate and Nathan, and so we just had like 6 or 7 races together, and we had minimum 24 cars, maximum 36 cars. What other series is showing up at your track with 36 cars?
Not that
or
many.
Regularly 28 cars, right?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun up at Varney, and when we were leaving, like even everybody in the Ontario Legend Series like said how much fun they had and what a great weekend they had and such. So I feel like I got through the year and saved most of my friendships.
You know what? That's all right. Like, not every call you have to make up in the tower is going to be 100%, because I've seen a post on Facebook recently where they were talking about how, race directors aren't able to see everything 100% of the time.
Yeah.
That's where you got to rely on your flagman, your corner workers, whoever has a radio that's working for the track.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Like, can they help you out with a situation? So the fact that you're able to walk away at the end of the season and go, I think I kept a lot of my friendships.
Yeah.
That tells me you did a pretty good job.
Yeah. I mean, and I made some tough calls this year. Like I did. But that was part of the job. The job was to know the rule book and to know the rules and to know when they can do this and when they can do that and when they can't do that and when they can do that. So I knew the rule book, and I did make some tough calls and had some people upset, but it is what it is. It's racing, and that's the rules, and everybody has to conform to those rules. So
exactly. And no one's ever going to be 100% happy with the calls you have to make regardless, unless it's in their favor. Then they don't want the opposite to happen.
That's right. And again, I will say that series is full with amazing, amazing racers. They all help each other. They all race fairly cleanly. And, the guys that are kind of pushing and shoving, I do let them maybe away with a little bit more if I'm race directing and it's the Ontario Legend guys, because they race together every week, and they're at my series. And so like this past weekend, Jade and Mitch were like back and forth on the bumper and stuff. And you have to know who's racing each other. You have to know the personalities. You have to know what they're both capable of and such. And where they're on the bumper too is huge in Legends. So there's rules with coming in, coming out, right? So there's all that. And I feel like too, like sometimes they take care of their own business too, if you give them a lap. So you just kind of, again, it's a call on the fly. You don't have instant replays. I don't have any help actually calling the race unless it's a me and Robin race, and then we have each other. So that's all we have. Like we don't have people in all the corners because it's a young series and there's not a lot of cash flow, and you're not paying people to be standing there on a radio calling the race with you.
That's true, yeah.
And we really struggled with radios this year. So our radios were on one sequence, and a lot of times it interfered with the track sequence, and neither set could change the frequency. So there was a lot of hiccups this year that people don't even know or see, nor care. They don't care. So we are working on that for next year to have like an availability to turn ours to a different frequency when we need to.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely hard when we hear that all the time. Sometimes it's hard to hear, whether or not a driver can hear their race director, because it's mandatory at all tracks that you got to be able to listen to them.
Yeah, I do a radio check as they go past me before we start the night. And if they do not respond to me when they're supposed to respond to me during that actual radio check, they go to the pits. We just black flag them.
Oh, wow.
You can't be out there in a Legend car as fast as those little cars are, as open wheels, and as many as even on a regular series night that was just Great Lakes, we had 16 cars every night.
That's fantastic.
You go to somewhere like Grand Bend, that's a lot of cars on a track.
It is.
Or Varney, right? So our rule, or my rule was you don't give me your thumbs up as you go past me for your radio check. You are actually parked.
Oh wow, that's actually good to know though.
Mm-hmm. No, you
Like,
have to have it on.
oh yeah, like because that's a safety fit. You're right. It's a safety thing
Yeah.
when you have to like. It's not there for an entertainment purposes or for the race director to yell at you. It's
Yeah.
there for safety purposes because if they're saying put out the yellow, you need to be able to hear that.
Right. Or where that car is, or when there's a red, and
Yep,
not have anybody get into anybody after the fact. That's there's no need for that if everybody can hear you. So
exactly.
yeah, the only person that really doesn't like listening to me would be Zach, my kid. Yeah.
What what
I,
kid listens to their parent anyway? Let's be
I
real.
don't think he really enjoyed the whole mom being race director thing, but again, he's a really clean driver, like, just a good kid. Like, so I wasn't worried about him. He was just like worried more about me.
I love it. That's awesome. I one of the things is I really do love the legend cards and I've always enjoyed them. And I always said like if I don't know what it is, but it's the small cars that have always fascinated me, like the Ontario Pro Challenge, the legend cars. And I would like I've always said I would love to get a shot at one because I
Mhm.
think they're absolutely a blast to drive, and I always make fun of them because the way they sound, especially at Flamborough, because they sound two different ways going into the corner.
Yeah.
One sounds like a tea kettle, one sounds like popcorn is popping, and I laugh there all the time because I'm like, you know what, it's funny to listen to, but there's there's I can't remember who it was, but I remember at Motorama in like 2009. Oh, when did David go to Pennzoil? That was 2007, 2008. But we did, yeah, that was
Well,
2000.
I was running with David when he went to Pennzoil, so in the in the limited lates.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was running against him then, and I was with Lucas Oil. He was with Pennzoil, and his dad was with Quaker State, so it was quite funny. I'm
that
trying to.
was 08, 09. 08 is when he got the first one. But I'm trying to remember what was on the front bumper because my friend who owned a business in Aaron sponsored literally where the Chevy logo was supposed to go in the body.
Yeah.
They put her logo there.
Okay.
And I think it was that show because we were at like a corner section of the hall at the International Center, and there was a legend card just over, and I got to talking to him because we were there for a few days, and he's like, "You want to sit?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And
Yeah.
somehow I got in there.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid I barely got out, but I'm like, man, these things look like a blast. And when I finally got to watch them drive, I was like, there's a reason why I love these little cars. And one is the body style because I love the vintage style body. Like,
Yeah.
I love the vintage modifieds. Legend car is just a natural progression for me to like as well because of the body style.
Well, yeah, and I ran vintage modifieds for quite a few years, and
Yep.
I have a sign somewhere here. I think it was a 32. It's a 32 Ford, and yeah, so it really is like an integration. They're just a little vintage modifieds, right?
Oh yeah. And like though there's obviously very big differences. They like I said, they look like a blast to drive it, especially in the corner. When
Yeah.
you see them, you can see them catch up to the car in front in the middle of the corner. Man, it's some of the best racing you can watch, I find.
And I think, like, honestly, in Ontario, I think I've ran pretty much everything except for open wheel modified, and they are by far the most fun I've had in a car is the Legend car for sure.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you. Like I said, they just look like a fun little car to drive and
Mhm.
especially like I haven't seen yeah, I've watched them at Flamborough. Varney, I'd be scared of them. I'm gonna be honest with you, especially turn four wall. I've watched enough races there to know turn four wall in cars just do not agree there. And I would hate to see that happen to a legend car. But like watching them
It happened the last time we were there, actually.
yeah, I can. Yeah, it's not. I don't like that sound. I'm gonna be honest. It's like I ducked the one time because it sounded like a bomb went off, and that was actually Kyle Steckling in his junior late. The one time I heard it, it would sound like a bomb went off behind us.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of carnage at Barney sometimes.
oh, you know what? It's a fun little track if you enjoy it. I will say that.
I would say,
I
like, when we were there the last time, we did a doubleheader with the Ontario Legend Series, and like a lot of the guys were like, "This is my least favorite place. I don't like coming here, whatever." And then there was a ton of them that were like, "I love this place. This is my favorite place." Like my son, that's his favorite track.
hey, you know what? I applaud them. To
Mhm.
anyone who says Varney's your favorite track, I applaud you because I could never.
I ran there for my first 8 years. So I
Oh boy.
started in 1990, 1993. Yeah, I ran there for my first 8 years.
Oh boy. I
In
applaud
every
you for
different
running
class.
it.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't mind gardening. Now back then they didn't have that back wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So
the back. When did the back wall get put in? That's the one thing I've always heard about, and I never got a chance. And then the one time I do go, I'm like, I thought they said there was no back wall here, that they would just dive off the cliff.
yeah, I don't really remember what year they put the back wall in. I don't remember actually. I was at Flamborough when that happened, so I wasn't running there regularly, but
Yeah,
I have been back many times since, and had to run it with the back wall. The back wall is not intimidating. You're right. It's that
yeah,
turn four. We put my middle daughter, like my middle child, we put her into my old enduro car,
yeah.
and we let her loose. And
Oh
came
boy.
up in my memories this year, and she did really good. Like she was doing fantastic out in the fun stocks or whatever they're called. She was doing fantastic, and then like you could see it getting worse and worse and worse, and then she come out and just plowed the turn four wall.
Oh,
And it was like only 2 laps to go or something. I was like, she was so close to finishing the whole feature. And yeah, it was a lot of fun for her, obviously, but we haven't got her back out since.
Y- you know what? I don't blame her for it all, and I want to get back out
Oh
because.
no, she wants to. I
Oh,
decided
she does.
I want.
Oh boy. You know what? I
She's
always said I
she's just
you
a fearless girl.
you know what, and that's awesome. Like you want to raise kids who are fearless and not scared of anything and want to get out and do stuff. Because let's be real, there's a lot of kids nowadays that couldn't do half the stuff that a
Yeah,
lot of us got to do.
that's very true. Yeah,
Right?
first they'd have to come out of their basement.
Oh, what are you saying? That I don't live in a basement.
No, I'm just saying. But like the kids are, they're really into their computer stuff and stuff. And
Yeah.
you them out. You know, when we were growing up, you knew to come home because the streetlights came on and you were hungry, right? Like
Yep.
that's how you knew to come home. Nowadays, you try and get your kids out, right? Like
It's such a different world, and
it is a different world.
in the last 20 years, the world has changed so much.
Yeah.
Right? And it's absolutely nuts. And sometimes I'm like, man, I'm thankful I grew up when I did.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Street lights came home, you know when to go home.
Yep.
Hell,
No, and don't you dare come home before that because you'll just
hold,
get right back out.
hold on. No, my mom was actually okay because when we were living, I lived part-time in Ohio when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Mhm.
My mom would cook Delicio pizza. She would haul because we would be like near the house. She would holler at us that there's pizza in the house. We were allowed to run inside, grab a slice, but we had to run right back outside.
Oh, so you were
We were allowed to be
you were,
fed.
you were living the high life because during the summertime you were allowed to go to the front porch and grab your peanut butter and jam sandwich off the front porch, but don't come in the house. Yeah, no. You had to then retreat with your sandwich and go to somebody else's house.
Yeah. You know what? And I had friends down in the States, and we one family I was friends with, they cheered for Michigan. One family I cheered with, or that I was friends with, they cheered for Ohio State. Became a fan of Ohio State, but and on the day of the Ohio State Michigan game, I was not allowed at my Michigan friend's house to watch the game.
Yeah,
That's where my entire family was
yeah.
because I was not allowed to cheer for Ohio State in their house. I had to go to my other buddy's house.
That's funny.
Oh, I felt left out. But then, yeah, I guess there's no statute of limitations, and no one in the States is probably going to hear this. But I got a funny story because it includes that. I didn't know my friend's dad got drunk while watching the game, and Ohio State finally beat Michigan after like a few year drought. Me and my buddy got in the back of his pickup truck. We rode around not cul-de-sac, but like the neighborhood we were in. Me and my buddy had Ohio State flags waving out the back of the truck, and he's driving the truck. And I'm thinking like, and now I'm like realizing why my mom got mad at me for being in the back of that truck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Like it took me years to realize why she was so mad at me. And I'm like, oh, he was drinking.
Yes.
We should not have been doing that.
You shouldn't have been in the back of the truck anyways. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the. We thought it was a good idea. Ohio State finally beat Michigan. We were having fun. So,
That's funny.
oh
No,
yeah.
I don't think the statute of limitations is not going to come back and get that guy. You didn't drop any names, so he's fine. He's
Exactly. We're good.
but anyways, all in all,
Yeah, let's get back to what we're supposed to be talking about here. We're not talking about my
all,
stories.
One of my best summers ever, honestly. Like every weekend would come and we'd do Friday night and we'd take off and do our Saturday stuff or Saturday, Sunday stuff. And just like so many, people and friends and whatever. And I'd be like, oh, like that was the best weekend I've had all summer. Like it's not going to get any better than that. And then the next weekend would be like, blow that one out of the water. And I'd be like, oh my God, that was like the best weekend I've had ever. And then the next weekend would be the same. And then right up to the end of the year, it was a really incredible summer.
Yep.
It could have gone totally the other way on me for sure. And it didn't. And I'm really freaking proud that, as a single female, like I was able to keep Zach in a car. I was able to keep Big Booty Judy going. I was able to get us everywhere we needed to go. And I was able to fund it or help like find the funding to help us get it all put together. And yeah, I'm super proud of the summer that we had.
Yeah, you guys definitely had like the whole, it was great. Obviously with you being a drone media driver this year, it was nice being able to see some of that stuff. And I know I did try to always include you even race directing as well. So I knew where you were as well.
No, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I'll definitely be back next year for that.
Well, I mean, in a couple weeks, we're in about a month. Actually, I didn't realize how early I put this out that we're all going to be going to go to the horse track in November to hang out.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that,
Saturday,
seeing who all
right?
comes out. The 9th.
9th. Sorry. It's the Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday. Yeah.
Yep. Gonna do very best to be there.
You know what? I looked at it and I've been thinking about trying to host something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, you know what? Funding's not there to really host something, but horse racing is free. You can gamble, you can drink, go do whatever you want. Yeah. But it's a nice night out. Invite everyone out to go have fun, right? And kind of celebrate the season.
Yeah, and I think so. I grew up in Campbellville, which is hilarious because that's going is right to Campbellville.
Yep.
So I do believe now. I don't know what time of year or whatever, but I think like even on the Saturday night, if people want to go a bit early, I do believe that there is a buffet too. I think so. They can go early. They can do the buffet. Then the buffet is right at where the horse racing, where the betting and everything is. Yep. And I do know that the simulated blackjack table is a lot of fun there.
Do you?
Yeah, I like that one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Maybe I'll have to go next time I go to and check it out.
Oh, now, and however, having said that, Jamie Burrows got me on to the Monopoly game.
Okay.
There's a Monopoly like actual jackpot game, and that was a lot of fun. And I think I walked into there with like $80, and like I walked out with, I can't remember, but it was like 500 and something. So yeah, so that was a good game. Everybody should try that one too, except for when I'm trying to try it. Right.
There we go. Look at this. We're even promoting this event as well.
Yeah, no, that'll be a ton of fun. I'm totally going to try and attend. I'm hoping Zach will maybe come down, and Jamie, I'll try and get him to come, and Zach's girlfriend Kennedy, and maybe we'll make it a bit of a night.
Hey, why not? Like that's the point of it, right? Is to go out, make a night of it, go hang out. And now that I know that you're on the list, essentially on the list to come, I'm trying to put together some things for all the drivers who come out for the night. So,
are you going to do door prizes or anything? Can people donate door prizes or bring door prizes? You want to do something like that? I
mean, if you want to, feel free. We could talk about it after the show. We can I wasn't thinking anything of it, but
Jenny's a plan. Jenny likes to plan things. So like I plan our Christmas party at work, and I'm trying to plan like a Legends race down in the States for a whole bunch of the Legends guys. And yeah, I like planning stuff. So if you want to do something like that, we'll get some 50-50 tickets and
let's do it.
As door prizes. And so if anybody's coming, bring a door prize. Maybe reach out to me, let me know you're bringing a door prize. And then just in that night, we'll just say we have 6 or 10 door prizes. We'll just give everybody half of a ticket, and we'll pick some numbers, and people can take some stuff home.
Fuck, sure. I know.
It'd be easy. It's easy, no problem.
I love this. Maybe I need to talk to you for anything that I want to do, because I start getting into the idea of planning. I'm like, okay, this is out of my realm. I don't know who to talk to, what to do. So maybe I need to start asking you what to do or who to talk to.
It's fun. That'll be easy. So if anybody wants to give a door prize, well, if they're coming to the horse races, then just reach out to me, let me know, so I know how many bags and tickets and stuff we need.
All right, you guys heard it from Jen. She's adding to the night.
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a great night.
Oh yeah. And with that in mind, though, like, we're kind of talking about the off season. It's sad to say we're at the last weekend. Last weekend of Asheville weekend.
I'm so sad.
I know. I was upset because September 28th was supposed to be my last night.
Yep.
And it got rained out at Flamborough. So now my unofficial last night was September 14th, and I was not prepared for a rain out.
I wasn't prepared for the end of the year either. Like, I didn't know the last night I was in the car was the last night in the car. And then Zach ended up racing it because I just have enough strength in my legs, or like long enough legs to had the brake booster went on it. So okay. I didn't have enough strength to get like past the spring to really get to the brake pedal where he could. So he ended up racing it the last night. So the last night I raced my car, I had no idea it was the last night of my racing. And then I ended up going in for pretty significant surgery. I'm off for 6 to 8 weeks from work. And so then my year kind of just went from there. But
yeah. And unfortunately that's like it sucks when your season has to end like that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm always a half glass kind of full girl, and I also feel like I still had a great year. So it is what it is, and I could have been not racing at all this year. So
exactly right. You could have you're right. You got to look at a glass half full, and to think about it that way, I definitely applaud you, because I know I wouldn't be able to think like that. But yeah, it sucks when you don't realize it's your last night, and then you're like, oh, my last night was actually this night, and then
last night was that like last week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's over.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not prepared. Like I have my GoPros and all my stuff sitting right here, and Jacqueline and I have like kind of talked about going out to Autumn Colors this weekend to try to get that fix in, and I'm like, I don't know, like. I was prepared for September 28th, and now that it's even gone, and Flamborough's done, and Autumn Colors is still a go, but like, is it worth it? And it's like, I don't know, and it just sucks when you realize that middle of September was my last time.
Well, it's always worth it.
Oh, I mean, and that's one event I've never been to either, is Autumn Colors.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a great show. There's always a ton of people, a ton of cars, a ton of campers. It really is a great show.
Oh yeah.
Just this year, it was not the right year for me to do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, obviously, with the health concerns or health reasons, it's keeping you away. But, that means next year you can go back stronger, right?
That's right.
So next year, you got to think about it. You're going to go back next year. You're going to go be rowdy again.
I was even thinking of like pushing the surgery off a little bit farther, but like everybody was at work is like, please don't do that. Cause like we're getting into tire season at work and stuff. Yeah. And real estate's picking up. And so like Tracy's like, let's just get this done. And everybody at the Ford dealership was like, let's just get you done. And kind of got told that I wasn't that either.
I love that everyone was like, no, get it done now.
Yeah.
Cause you're like, why? I can't go have fun now.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But you know what? You'll be back to work soon enough.
And we have I think we'll be traveling a bit this winter for sure. Like we'll be doing, I'll probably do the Snowflake again, and I'll do Speed Week again. And so I'll get my fix in.
I was going to say that sounds like a fun time. I'm going to be honest.
Snowflake's a ton of fun. And then Speed Week obviously is a ton of fun. Like there's racing every single night. So,
and it doesn't matter where you go. It seems like in the state of Florida, you can, for Speed Weeks, there's so much racing. Now
racing everywhere.
I do miss all the NASCAR stuff that they used to do in during that week as well, because I felt like that was a big significant part of it, of why they was called Speed Weeks too. And now it's down to like a couple things. It's like,
No, you're bang on because like Allie's going to be 30 and I've been going for a long, long time to do.
yeah,
And my grandparents had a house in Ocala, Silver
yep,
Spring. And so like even so my daughter she's going to be 30. So when she was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we would go down. And like I remember, you're right, like every night of the week, that week you could go if you went to McDonald's, Bill Elliott was there. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
definitely with her with Bill Elliott sitting on his knee, basically getting
that's awesome.
coloring book, right? And there was so many things going on that whole week with the NASCAR stuff. And I'm going to agree with you 100%. I didn't think of it until you just said that. But like this past year, there wasn't much going on around Daytona with the NASCAR guys, except like, I must admit too, like I like watching the Thursday night and the Friday night racing even more than the Sunday racing.
Yeah,
And this past year, because it got rained out until the Monday, I think it got rained out till the Monday.
yeah, I think so.
I ended up flying home because it was my son's last hockey game, or so he had said. He was not going to be playing hockey anymore. And they were in the season, like the finals. And
Yeah,
I flew all the way home for his hockey game and made it, had to get up into Palmerston the same day. Like I landed,
oh
jumped in the
geez,
car, drove to Palmerston and got there for his game. Tracy went with me. And now he's playing again next year, whatever. Only cost me an extra couple $100 to leave early, but whatever. Yeah.
you know what though, it's good when you're able to be there for your kids as well. And because it seemed like I obviously I don't know you guys personally or anything like that, but it does seem like you guys support Zach, and you support all your kids
Yeah.
equally in whatever their ventures are, which is good to see.
No, I got, so me and my ex, Colin, like got super lucky with our kids, super lucky. Like all three of them are fantastic kids. And we can honestly say that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good.
But touching back on the Daytona thing, like I really enjoyed it when there was, I've always felt like on TV, especially speed was speed. Thank God we had speed at one point, because it sucks now because the coverage, and I hate to say that, it's the coverage, because speed covered everything for us.
Yeah.
And it was down in the States, up in Canada here.
And
And
who is that guy? Doug Duchesne?
oh, Dave Duchesne.
Dave Duchesne, remember? And
Wind Tunnel with Dave Duchesne.
always, his talk show was fantastic.
I'm gonna be honest, I hated him. I hated his guts. I felt he had the
like,
worst
yeah,
takes on everything.
Yeah, like you had such great coverage, and then you're like, yeah, guy's an ass.
He did a lot of great things in the conversations he had, but I just didn't agree with a lot of them. That's it. But
That's
like
the world we live in. You don't have to agree with everybody.
yeah, like I still watched it because Dave Duchesne, that's what it was. Duchesne.
That's it. Duchesne.
Not Duchesne, Duchesne. That's what it was. I was like, no, it's not Duchesne, but I couldn't remember why. But I didn't like his takes, but I was still gonna watch him because it's Dave Duchesne. You gotta. Same thing with like Jimmy Spencer with his crying towel. I didn't agree with a lot of them. I felt he was being a crybaby over it, but that's his opinion on it. That's the best part. That's the beauty part, is when people can have opinions on stuff and no one gets upset.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Again,
that was a little bit of a rant.
Yeah, that's it. But it's just somebody's opinion.
Exactly.
You don't have to agree with everybody's opinion.
Exactly. And that's
the half glass full thing again, right there.
Exactly. You got to look at it both ways, right? And I guess that's why I also listen to now like only 3 racing podcasts out of all of them.
Well, I mean, how the world has changed, right? Like
oh god,
us growing up to now, like how many podcasts are there to listen to now?
Well,
right?
over 6 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Hell, we got 3 over here at Joe Media Promotions. So I mean,
yeah. Nope, exactly. But again, all these people, like everybody is just getting so much more coverage and getting to learn about everybody that much more. And I think there's room for everybody. I'm really like, I know one of the questions is going to come up because of Brandon Feeney, right? And I feel bad that he's kind of, folding it a little bit, but he's got a lot on his plate, and I feel like he needs to refocus and try and get in. He wants to race again next year and stuff. So I'm hoping he gets it all put together because good guy. Like he just,
Oh yeah.
all he wants to do is support racers and racing. So I hope everybody supports that and gets behind him and hopefully picks up some good sponsorship for next year.
I hope he does as well. But there's some news I'll tell you afterwards then.
Okay.
But for the meantime, we're going to get into our Tailor to You medium design fan question period. As you saw earlier today, we announced at the last minute that you were going to join us tonight. And we got some questions for you. Ready to answer them?
I am.
All right. We're going to start with Instagram, William_Trillium. What was your favorite moment with the Legends this season?
I would have to say, huge shout out to Corey McAllister and Two Speed. The Nationals event that we put on, 36 cars on the Sunday, 34 on the Saturday. Wow. It was just mind blowing. Like it was a lot of work because there was so many cars, and it was a lot of work even during the racing and just having that whole weekend go down. And we gave away over $10,000 worth of stuff that weekend, or just on the Sunday race. And so it doesn't get any better than that. That was a great weekend. That was one of my favorite weekends this summer for sure.
I really actually like the idea of the Two Speed Nationals. I love the money that they raised for it. You know, that's such a cool event that they're kind of putting money towards, just kind of like a random event.
Yeah. Now,
But
did you hear the thoughts on it for next year?
I haven't seen much on it. I've seen the post on it, but I haven't been able to dive into it a little bit.
So talking to Corey and Joe Jr. and Scotty McQueen, I believe they're going to work on doing a Two Speed Nationals event, which is going to be hopefully a 2-day event at a racetrack. I feel like Sunset might win next time, but I loved it at Sauble, so it doesn't matter to me where it is. And then it's going to be a 2 or 3 classes as Two Speed National event. This is what has been thrown around. Obviously nothing's been announced, and I think that's what they're kind of working on, but how exciting is this, right?
Oh, that's huge. That's going to be huge.
It's going to be massive. And he's going to rent the track. So Corey himself wants to rent a track, whatever kind of gets voted upon or whatever, or he's going to pick something. I don't know how it'll all play out, but like, again, how lucky are we to have people like Corey McAllister, Joe Jr., Scotty McQueen, and all those guys in our corners, right?
It's amazing. I love that. And you know what? I really hope that comes to fruition, because that's going to be a huge conversation piece for next year.
Massive, huge. So, and I hope they include I think it'll probably be something that's voted on, and et cetera again. And man,
which is perfect.
Did we ever pull that one out? Because when I went to bed that night, we were behind by 80 votes from the hot rods. The hot rods had us by 80 votes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if all of us legend people are just like late to the game, or if we just stay up all night, or if we all work midnights. I don't know. But in the morning I woke up and we had won. So like crazy that it happened in the
can't go wrong with that
hour. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So that is the weekend, an event of the summer.
Our next question comes to us from William_Trillium. Which is more fun, driving or race directing?
Driving. I've also been doing it way, way longer. So, definitely driving is okay. Like, having said that, like, the adrenaline of driving is clearly obviously there. But having said that, there is a huge amount of adrenaline when you've got 36 cars hitting a racetrack and it's on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of an adrenaline rush all on its own.
We will also throw into there that Nicole Givens had also asked if you prefer racing or race directing. So we'll skip. We'll add that with William's question as well. We'll jump over to Tracy's question though. She goes, "What are your plans for next year? Will Big Booty be returning?"
Well, Big Booty Judy has a following all of her own, so I'd be really sad if Big Booty Judy didn't return. I did kind of think for a brief moment or a split second, I would really like to get into like a full-size car again, like a V8 stock or something at Del. I need to stay on the Friday nights at Delaware's. It's easy. It's close to home.
Yep.
It's go out, it's run, it's take your car home, put it away, and carry on for the rest of the weekend. I really, really like that idea. So I had kind of tossed around maybe something that way, but how do you, like, she's honestly, like, we sold so many t-shirts and hoodies this year. We had them asked to have them up in the souvenir booth, and we sold everything except for one shirt
That's awesome.
by the end of the year. Just up in the souvenir booth. I had people approaching me because I had my sweater on. They'd be like, "Oh, like, where did you get that sweater?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is a Big Booty Judy sweater." And they're like, "Yeah, we want one." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm Jen Hatch. I drive Big Booty." They didn't even know who I was. It doesn't matter who I was, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, that's so great. Like, can I get a Big Booty Judy?" And we haven't even delivered those yet. So I still have to get down to St. Paul to deliver those. So I just got them made. And so I would have a hard time putting Big Booty Judy away.
Now, if you would to get a full-size car again, you'd have to just rebrand the new one Big Booty Judy too.
Yeah, it would have to get something with another big booty. Yeah. Because just to be very clear, the big booty part has nothing to do with Jen's booty. Like, Jen doesn't have a booty. It's not there. So just to be clear, Big Booty Judy is a cobalt. She's got a big booty. That's why it's Big Booty Judy. And I don't know if you know the story or not, but Tyler Hahn and Xander had hashtag Tyler's car, Big Booty Judy. And Tracy was like, bam, like, what are you talking about? There is only one Big Booty Judy, and they don't race Delaware very often, right? Because they run the Hot Rod Series. And Xander's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Jen's car is Big Booty Judy." He's like, "I am so sorry." And I've never seen them brand his car ever again as Big Booty Judy. But she jumped on him, like, Xander was like, punched him right in the face.
Oh my God!
You cannot say that is Big Booty Judy. And two of the best guys ever, I must say.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Again, we had such a great summer. There has been so many amazing weekends this summer.
Oh yeah. Our next question comes to us from Angela Lane. It's kind of similar to the first one. She goes, "What was your favorite memory in 2024, either driving or directing?"
So I've already kind of said about directing, like with the Legends. So driving wise, yeah, like any night that we made the A without having to run the B was a good night. And I did most nights that I tried, most nights that I was there, I did go straight to the A. I didn't have to run a lot of the Bs. But I had my fair share of DQs this year.
I was gonna say, I noticed like
4 or 5.
I was gonna say, didn't I see you get a heat win? And then I was trying to, when I was doing the our driver recap, I think I saw you picked up a heat win, and then when I looked to the feature, I couldn't even find you there. I'm like, wait a minute,
That's an indicator that something went wrong.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, that's not good. Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyways,
our last question, of course, comes to us from Brandon Feeney and goes, "How did you enjoy co-hosting?"
I had a lot of fun with Brandon. I really did. We had a lot of fun. Like, I learned so much. Like Caitlin Wallace, I had never even met before. Now I did see her after we did that episode and was able to give her a big hug and whatever. I had never even met her before. So it was fun to do like Nicole, because me and Nicole are friends. It was fun to do the Howard sisters because like we're friends. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And again, I hope that something changes, and I hope that he decides to keep going with it. And we raised money for the Lady Racers, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it was I failed on my end so much on that one to try to help promote that, and I feel so terrible.
Time too, though. It was August. A lot of people were on.
Oh yeah.
Stuff, and it was a busy time. I think maybe if we had done it maybe a different time, it would have maybe did a little bit better. But again, it was just fun. It was getting a lot of airtime for some ladies, and nobody did win their race the week of their airing, so that saved me some money. But at the end of the day, I'll just invest it into something else. I sent Phil Gibbons some money this morning or yesterday for some gas money. So
hey, nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. And it's good to be able to support racers as well, right? That's
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose behind it, was to help the female racers
Yeah.
and maybe give them a little bit of an incentive to go out there and win. And I was really hoping to see Caitlin go out there and win again because, I've known
Yeah.
Caitlin for a few years now.
I think
But
and she was in her backup car. So I think that was the problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
if she had her original car, she might have had a chance. But
Yeah.
those cars were all the cars were fast at Flamborough this year, so it was tough.
Even people that weren't fast last year seem to be fast this year. There's a lot of fast cars
Right.
this year.
And hopefully it continues on in 2025. So
Yeah.
But that's going to conclude our fan question period. Of course, we got to thank Taylor to Me Design for supporting those. And I finally found them after a little bit, but she does design some cups. And I have my Dr. Pepper Joan Media True North Racing one here. Dr. Pepper, if you're listening, I'd love to be sponsored. We already got a cup made for you, so I can just drink right out of it. She also does Blue Jay ones. Jacqueline picked that one up for me, but she does a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you guys are interested in anything like that, make sure you guys find her on Facebook and Instagram. Taylor to You. Good friend of mine, known her for years, so I call her my little sister. So go check her out on all social media.
I didn't know anything about her, so I'll check it
out. She does a lot of cool little things like this. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this is one of my favorite cups of all time.
That is very cool.
Again, if I get sponsored by Dr. Pepper, I already got a cup made. They don't need to send me one.
I'm sure that's what's gonna do it.
I've been trying for a while now. Okay. I want that so bad. But no, of course, we got to thank Jen for taking the time to answer those questions. Of course, for every one of you submitting questions, because this is one of my favorite segments, because this is where I find the weirdest things to find out about drivers.
Yeah.
So many weird things, and I love it because it just brings to light either like inside jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite segments. So thank you for taking the time to answer those.
I guess this is going to be after autumn colors, but I just want to wish everybody a great autumn colors, obviously, as well.
Absolutely. It sucks that we're recording prior and not after, but that's okay. Hopefully no big wrecks. Everyone comes home in one piece, and that's all, and everyone has a good time. That's all that matters.
That's right.
But Jen, it's been an absolute blast having you on for the last little bit here. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, because I feel like I've been slacking on this segment actually for a while. For the next few minutes, the floor is yours. You can thank all your sponsors for the 2024 season. You can thank a relative that got you into racing that didn't know they got helped get into racing, whoever. The floor is yours for the next couple minutes.
Awesome. Wasn't really prepared for that one, but he said that couldn't have done it without Zach, obviously. He wrenched on the car all week for me. Uncle Russ got the car to the racetrack every week. And if he was away gallivanting through the US of A with Aunt Connie, then Kent Robson stepped in, or my boss, Kip, at St. Mary's Ford. I always had a truck available to me, and he gave me an enclosed trailer for the summer. So really couldn't have asked for more help than that. Sponsor-wise, we've got Finch Construction, Corey McAllister Welding, Jomo Media, of course, Stickers and Scuff, of course, Pedal Power, Tracy Ellis, PC275, ZH Contracting, Red Rock Contracting, Auto Fusion Towing, which is Noel Hamilton, Robson Scrap Metal, which is Kent. Obviously, one of my huge ones is St. Mary's Ford in so many different ways. And it was just, I'm trying to think. I don't think I missed anybody on that. And then our series sponsor, how do you say that? Wampum Fuels, which is Jesse Kennedy. He did our series this year. So I never really know how to say that, but there you go. And Delaware Speedway for just having a great facility to race at, and all their folks. And for the last little bit there, Jamie Hartley obviously helped me as well. All
right. Well, again, thank you everyone for helping out, Jennifer. It obviously helps. It definitely helps you out a lot. And it's great to have a great support system behind you that believes in you, supports you in more than ways than you can imagine. So, thank you everyone who helps out Jennifer. Yeah, like if you can get through the season on your sponsorship fund, you've had a great year, right? And so this year we were able to keep it off the wall.
I don't think we even managed to get into we got into a few little scuffs here and there, but nothing too bad. And I think the biggest thing for bone stocks right now is tires. It's just really hard to find the tires. So that'll be this winter's CSI will be trying to figure
trying to find tires
like on the down low or something. It might be black market. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever we have to do.
You know what? I think the Mitchells are hounding them all. They have like 30 sets in there. So
I might head down to their place.
All
Shop
right.
off their shelves.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But anyways,
I don't know who their guy is. So
yeah. And thanks for everything that you guys do too, for sure.
No problem. It's been an absolute pleasure having you this week. I know it was last minute, but you came through and you were fantastic as always. So, like I said, we're going to start making, I think the week prior to Motorama, the Jennifer Hatch week.
Okay.
Past 2 seasons, that's what we've done.
That's true.
So you know what? We're going to keep it going. We'll get you back on for the week prior to Motorama and kind of preview Motorama, I guess, a little bit.
Sounds good. We'll go over who we know is going and kind of what's going on. And Big Booty Judy didn't go this year, but she was there last year. She won, or the year before. So she's really not looking like she's going to make a Motorama show again. I don't think.
I think we need to change that.
Now. Too many crinkles in her.
I think we need to change that.
We'll see how the winter goes. We'll see how bored we get.
Exactly.
You never know. Maybe we'll be there with something for Zach. It's hard to say. Oh,
I like the little hints there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jen, you go enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
All right. Thanks so much.
See you later.
Okay. Bye.
And we're back from our conversation with Jennifer Hatch. It was nice catching up with her. It's kind of nice to be able to have her at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, to see how her season went. And of course, she came up to me at Motorama and told me she got the race director job with the Great Lakes Legends series. And of course, we had to talk about that. So we were able to bring her up. You guys can go find that. We'll drop the link for that interview in the comment section below, so you guys can go back and take a look at that announcement that we did in Motorama. Yeah, thank you, Jen, for joining us last minute, 11th hour kind of thing. Like I was an hour later putting out the our fan question period, but you know what? It was well worth it. We had a lot of fun, a lot of conversations, which is good. And like I said, we're probably going to make it an annual week before Motorama. She's going to join us on the show. But yeah, we'll see how we'll keep you guys in the loop of everything that goes on. But any drone media drivers who are coming out on November 9th, please let me know. We got some things I'm working for you behind the scenes. I got some things I'm getting made up for y'all who do attend. So please let me know. Other than that, guys, I got nothing else for you. We're going to keep it nice, short, and sweet this week. Thank you to all our sponsors, Driving with Hailey, Peps Pro Painting, GraphInk Design, Tailored to Media Design for everything you do for the program. And of course, all our associate sponsors like Georgetown Printing, Wilds Printing, Valhalla Mobile, DJD Gear, every one of them. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and as well as joemedia.ca to stay up all the latest news with our drivers. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you all next time here on the True North Racing Podcast, presented by Driving with Hailey. See you guys.
Gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.